Sir, hindi ligid sa kalaman ninyo na matindi ang bashing sa inyo. Matapos yung KOJC, tapos lalo na nung kay Pangulong Duterte. How does your family receive that?
Sa family ko naman ay, as much as possible, shield them from all those bashings. Kasi marami, hindi naman gaano nakikilala ang mga bata, hindi ko naman sila na-expose. Pati si Mrs. Hindi ko, kaya mga public appearances is wala gaano. On my part naman, okay lang, no problem. We can adjust. We are adapting to it.
But I'm sure you've seen some of the memes. I mean, the memes vary from yung talagang may kinalaman sa trabaho mo, yung iba may kinalaman sa, well, sabihin natin
Pagmumukha ko.
saan galing? Naunaan mo ako dun.
Yeah! Hindi ko naman may tatanggi yun. Kaya nga sabi ko, ang pinakapalagi kong meme, si Diwata eh. Kaya para tabla kami ni Diwata, nagamit niya ang mukha ko, nagamit ko ang mukha niya. Ngayon gagamitin kong paresan niya, magtatayo ko ng paresan.
Okay.
Libreng mileage yun
Pulis paresan.
Pulis paresan, yeah, pwede.
Para patos-patos tayo, pares-pares.
Pares, posas at baril. Parang ganun, pwede, no? Posas, baril.
Naunahan ako dito eh.
Pag lumabas yun, libre na kagano yung aking, nasa YouTube naman to, pabalik-balik nila makita. O di, meron na akong automatic na may plug-in ad na libre pa.
But did you? I'm sure you also you're also familiar with the perception of you being the man who will shout, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." Do you agree with that assessment? Parang ikaw yung tipong ito yung misyon, diretso lang. Kung yung masagasaan, ay malas na lang.
Most of the time naman, there are times that you really need to make a choice. So, at the end of the day, iisang buhay natin, saan mo gusto ma-remember? Ang feeling ko naman is something that people will remember you by. So, ganoon. Kahit nasa, it transcends into many things that I do. Like golf.
Golf.
Kahit na golf. Pag ang isang shot ay will take me na mag-lay up, safe shot, lay up and then go to the green, or take the long driver, take the long iron, take the fairway wood, and go straight to the green. Pero napakalaki ng chance na mahulog ka sa jabong. Ang sa akin naman
Jabong.
wala namang diferensya itong shot na to sa buhay ko in the long run. Pag ito ay sinafe shot ko at perfect ang pagkagawa ko at na birdie ko pa ito, nobody cares. We will not talk about this. Pero pag ito, tinira ko ngayon ito ng isang
Then you
shot,
remembered.
hanggang sa clubhouse pag-uusapan ito.
And beyond.
So something like that.
And beyond.
Ganun yung pag-isip natin and beyond. So ito naman, kaya nga may mga risk din na you have to take the risks. But especially if you believe that it's right and it's for the good of the many people. If you believe that it will benefit the common good, it will be beneficial to the vast majority. And the decision is for you to take it and take the risk, or just sit back and look at how things will unfold without your decision. I'll take the riskier approach. Basta ang magiging bottom line, the possibility of giving better services, giving better, future to our countrymen. Doon ako.
So sir, hindi ako makarelate sa golf eh. Alam ko lang golf eh. Golf. Anyway, that was a joke. But yeah, you also realize na you're talking kasi about taking the risks. You realize you're taking a lot of risks. You're taking more risks than a lot of other PNP chiefs who have served before you have taken. Hindi pa ka nag-worry doon. Kasi alam mo, I don't even recall any former PNP chief who has been as controversial as you have. Before they became PNP chief. And sometimes these things tend to come back later on and, may repercussions, may political repercussions yan.
Ito ang uulitin ko naman, Sir Ed, no? Never at any point of my career, I felt more comfortable in following orders than in this administration. Because I'm very sure everything that the President has ordered me, all the orders that I received from the President and all his mga katuwang sa pagsiservisyo sa gobyerno ito, all those orders are legal, all those orders are moral, and all those in all those orders, I firmly believe na dapat gawin sapagkat ito ang tama at ito ang nakabubuti sa mas nakararami.
That's interesting to hear. I mean, I've heard it before from you as well, but that's also interesting to hear considering, well, let me bring back something that you said in an interview two months ago. Just to refresh things. Sa isang interview 2 months ago, in-imply ninyo kasi nagkaroon ng excesses nung nangako ang dating Pangulo na sagot niya kayo.
Yeah, it's on record naman.
Yeah, yes sir. At marami sumunod sa kanya dahil siya yung duly constituted authority. So let me ask you about a little bit about those things. Una, ano ba yung utos na bumaba nung panahong yon?
Di ba? At then, i-contexto muna natin. Nangako, di ba? Nangako siya.
Ako bahala sa inyo.
At kitang-kita yon. In so many instances, ang pangako na yun paulit-ulit na ginawa.
Yeah.
Na-test niya ng pangako. Tinest ni Senator Ray Santiveros. Do you take responsibility for the death of Kian de los Santos? And Carl Anthony Nunez. Anong sagot? Yeah. So, it is a promise that cannot be substantiated. Kasi siya mismo ang nagsabi, ang criminal liability ay individual.
Yeah.
Di ba? Sinabi niya yun, maliwanag na maliwanag, which is true. So, obviously, mga pangako na hindi pwedeng gawin because of physical infirmities or impossibility or physics mismo ang magsabi, like jet ski. Di ba? Na, at the end of the day, sasabihin joke only.
Tsaka geography.
Di ba? Di ba? How can you jet ski to the Kalayaan Island? Di ba? So, ang lalabas at the end of the day is hyperbole, figures of speech. Now, the problem with that,
you're left holding the bag.
Hindi maliwanag hindi maliwanag sa lahat 'yan. Di ba? At the end of the day, pag kritiko ang tumingin yan, maliwanag na yan ay pangako na simula pa lang ginawa ng isang tao na alam niya na siya mismo ay hindi niya kayang tuparin. Yan ang maliwanag diyan. Dito sa administrasyong ito kay BBM, meron bang pangako na gaya niyan na alam natin na infirm right at the very start? Wala eh. Everything, all the orders that I receive are legal, moral, and I firmly believe that this is the good for the great. This is done for the greater good. So, ako'y confident kahit ano pa mangyari in the aftermath of the BBM administration, I'm confident I can confidently say na I can defend myself. I will not use that I have the right to remain silent and I have the right
against
to
self-incrimination.
Self-incrimination. No. I will not do that because I will not use that because I don't think that we are doing anything illegal right now.
But do you think that in the previous administration, there were orders that were illegal and immoral?
Well, hindi ko masasabi na kasi wala naman talagang proseso pa. Na ngayon nga ay isa yan sa mga proseso ngayon, very controversial ngayon na mga nangyayari diyan sa ating Senado, sa Kongreso, you know. So, hintayin natin kung ano resulta niyan. Pero sa tanong na yan, meron nang marami nag-invoke ng right to remain silent at saka
right against
self-incrimination, di ba? So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Your interpretation will be as good as mine.
But sir, of course, I also understand that anything you say can and will be used against you. So you also have the right against self-incrimination. But so let me just press forward a bit and see how far I can go. Kasi in that same interview 2 months ago, ang sabi po nga ninyo, may kaso for example sa isang probinsya kung saan 32 ang patay at nanlaban daw sila. So parang in-imply nyo, paano nangyari na sa isang gabi, naging kilala lahat at lumaban sa pulis ng sabay-sabay. At naglolokohan lang ba tayong sabihin natin na hindi nangyari yon? It's time for real talk. What did you want to imply there? What were you trying to say there?
Well, yan ang iniiyak ng maraming Pilipino na pumunta sa ICC. Yeah? Similar cases na sa tingin nila ay hindi, during the time ay hindi mabigyan ng hustisya. Kaya sila ay napunta sa isang International Criminal Court. No? So,
ito yung Bulacan, no? Ito yung Bulacan case.
Bulacan case yan. Ang sa ICC naman marami pa eh. Even before the former president was president, before the presidency niya, doon pa sa mga insidente na nangyari sa Davao, ayun ang mga naging topics at mga accusations na dinala sa ICC. Now, on my part naman, ito kasi nasa level tayo ng policy. Nasa level tayo ng policy. So, to craft the correct policy responsive to the current times, to the current operational environment, we need to look back kung ano yung base data, kung ano ang mga possible, kung ano ang mga pwede natin paghugutan, parang sa thesis, the review of related literature. Okay, so, ganun naman ang ginagawa natin. Kaya tinitingnan ko yung mga possibility, ang mga past na yun, na ito ba yung nangyari? Ito ba ay, ano ang nangyari rito? Ano ang magiging implications pag ito ang ginawa nating policy? Ano ang magiging epekto pag in-implement natin to? So, you know, I made those statements in those contexts, if I remember it right. And until now naman, hindi nagbabago ang ating stance na talagang dapat itong mga to ay titingnan natin. Ngayon, kung may mga tao dyan na gustong magreklamo at gustong ipa-review ang mga cases na, we're always welcome so that we eventually will find closure. Kaya kanina, sa isang interview ko naman, sinabi ko naman na hanapin natin ang win-win solution. Kasi at the end of the day, how sure are we na yan ay ginawa ng mga police voluntarily at hindi naman na merong nakaumang din na baril sa ulo nila kaya napipilitan silang gawin ang mga bagay na sila mismo ay hindi naniniwala.
Of course, in the end, these are policies that are brought down to your level and implemented by the foot soldiers. Pero sir, you were Samar Provincial Police Chief and then eventually NCRPO nung panahon ni Tatay Digong. Do you recall kung merong utos na to the effect na let me rephrase. Kasi lumabas in the last few months sa mga testimonya sa Senado, sa Kongreso na meron reward system. Meron mga ganun. Reward system para sa mga napapatay o nakukuha ng mga drug suspects. Was there really a reward system as far as you could tell, as far as you know? You're being in a high position, in charge of a province in the region.
I heard about it, but I haven't received any of it personally. I heard about it, but no, I haven't received any of it. I just did my job, and wala namang sinasabing payoff akong na-receive personally, no?
Not you personally, sir. I don't mean you receiving any reward personally. But as far as you could tell, as far as you know, was there such a system in place?
I heard about it, pero yun nga, hanapin natin pabayaan natin ang investigasyon na gumulong regarding that matter. There are inquiries being conducted na hinahanap ang punot dulo ng mga impormasyon na yan. On my part, wala akong personal knowledge regarding that matter, but we're going to cooperate kung ano man ang mga investigation na gagawin regarding that matter, and we'll see about that.
When you say you heard about it during that time pa, not now, not during the testimonies in this current administration.
Kasi nakikita naman natin, naririnig natin sa mass media during that time, nakikita natin may mga sinasabing drug list, na, di ba, pinapakita pa yung makapal na dokumento na ito ibinigay sa organisasyon na ganito. May mga pictures pa at may mga pangalan na minention. Di ba? So, minention mismo ni former president na binabasa niya sa mass media. So, those are matters that are being taken up in formal inquiries. Hintayin na lang natin kung ano magiging resulta.
Okay, sir. I understand. But let me tweak that question. Kung may ganong system ba, how does that affect people on the ground? How does that affect the people who implement the law? Anong epekto niyan sa police?
Yun ang sinasabi ko ngayon. Sa ating mga sa tenure ko, isa yun sa mga gusto kong tingnan at magawa ng programa. Kasi ako hindi naniniwala na 100% ang buy-in sa policies na
Okay.
Ang maganda lang sa mga policies ngayon, kahit na walang buy-in, these policies are legal. Okay? You can question it as much as you want, pero hindi mo pwedeng gamitin na argumento na hindi ako susunod kasi illegal yan.
Okay.
Which cannot be said sa sinabi mo. Kung meron kang policing ganon, is it something that you can actually find the legal rigor to defend it in closer scrutiny, in a formal investigation? So, baka may mga tao talaga noon na kung may policy ng ganon, ay magsasabi na, hindi ako susunod kasi alam ko hindi tama yan. Kasi kung titingnan mo, nakalagay rin sa police officer's pledge Ang maliwanag doon.
Yeah.
And obey legal orders from duly constituted authorities. Yun ang limits natin. You only obey the legal orders. So now, balik ko ang tanong dyan sa ating mga kababayan na nagtatanong, is it a legal order? If it is made, if it was actually made, is it a legal order?
Sir, teka, you said something kanina that tweaked my interest eh. You said na parang hindi 100% ang buy-in. What did you mean by that? Tell me lang if I'm getting this right. Ibig niyo ba sabihin na within the police force, merong hindi pagkakaintindihan? Hindi ibig sabihin na hindi sumusunod pero merong hindi ganun ka sold dun sa the new direction ng PNP ngayon under BBM.
May mga, alam mo, ang divergent ideas, there are 110 million Filipinos, 120 million Filipinos. Kagagaling di ba? At ang ating ang mga Pilipino nga, lagay mo ang 5 Pilipino sa isang kwarto. Magbigay ka ng isang topic na pagdidibatihan. 6-7 ang opinion na makikita mo diyan. Kasi may isang Pilipino, yun nga dinidibate ang sarili niya. So, marami tayong divergent ideas, marami tayong iba-ibang diverse ideas na nirerespeto natin. Binabalansin natin ang lahat.
Of course. That's right naman.
So, pero sa organisasyon na gaya ng PNP, na talagang iisa ang command, iisa ang direksyon, at lahat tayo ay nag-take ng oath na to obey legal orders from the duly constituted authorities. There may be hesitations, but, it doesn't matter in the end, sapagkat ang policy ay masusunod, ang utos ay susundin, at ang direksyon na ibinigay ng liderato ay susundan.
Pero sir, particularly in this case kasi if the current president is giving legal orders, dapat mas walang hesitation ngayon compared to the previous administration where mas mukhang excessive yung mga paramdam ng pangulo.
Sa ngayon, I don't think that there are people who does not who expresses any hesitation. Walang ganon. Dito sa mga utos ng presidente natin, 3-minute response, faster police service, huwag pasapasahan ng ating mga pulis. Wala tayong ganon. As compared sa last administration, di ba may isang chief of police na talaga na-publicize pa na hindi ako papatayin ng tao. There was somebody who actually voiced that concern na hindi ako papatayin ng tao. Hanapin natin ang chief of police na I think he was a captain during the time, chief of police na isang maliit na bayan. So, may ganon ka expressed na opinion during the time. Because, at hindi naman nila ma-caution. Kasi tama nga naman ang posisyon ng tao na, may mamamatay lang sa police operation kung papasok ng Article 11, which is the justifying circumstances. Ang gagamitin lang is self-defense. Pero, bakit lumabas ang ganong klaseng opinion? So, indicators, Wala mang nagsabi na talagang may ganong utos, pero may indicators dahil may nagsasabi na ito ang gagawin ko. Hindi gaya ng ipinag-uutos niyo.
Okay. Let me make cambio. I suppose you also realize na the former president is still very popular.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Does that as somebody who implements the law, somebody who enforces the law, does that bother you na parang after all those 6 years kung saan may mga, sabi mo nga kasi na previous interview may mga nabigatan sa badge nila nung nakarang administrasyon. Does that bother you that he still commands that kind of loyalty from people?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. On the contrary, mas nararamdaman ko na ang demokrasya sa panahon ngayon ay buhay. People are free to express their ideas, hindi natatakot na baka sila ay may mangyari sa kanilang masama. Gaya ng mga nangyaring masama sa ilang mga kababayan natin na nag-express ng contrary ideas on the past administration. Dito, ako'y nahahay moral na ang demokrasya ay buhay. Kaya sila nakapagsalita ng ganyan kasi confident sila, walang mangyayari sa kanila. Di ba? Hindi ba nila na-realize yun na actually they are bashing the government but they should also realize that they are able to bash the government because of the security that this very same government is providing them.
Okay. Okay. Galing sumagot ah. Okay, sir. Sir, kami ako. This is something that we ask all PNP chiefs coming in. In fact, it's a kind of question na parang napaka-dikahon na Pati namin tanong, ano yung inyong mission, ano yung vision, ganun-ganun And generally, pare-pareho sagot. Most of the PNP chiefs we've talked to, medyo pare-pareho sagot. Internal cleansing, improve peace and order, ganun, improve the welfare of what will make you different? Let me rephrase that. Kung pare-parehong sagot ng mga nakaraang PNP chief, what makes you Nicolas Torre III? What makes you the guy who will, as you said kanina, will make his mark long after you're gone?
Same as above.
In detail.
Same as above. See previous answer.
Well, si Sir, tama naman yung mga sagot It's just that parang all the previous PNP chiefs have made the same promises, but it's of course it's a work in progress. Pero I don't know if you're happy with the progress that.
But bottom line, Sir Ed, ganito Bottom line, Sir Ed, we really don't need to reinvent the wheel. The PNP was created under one law, RA 6975, as amended by 8551, and lately by 9708. Okay. The mission has been the same. The mandate has been the same. The vision has been the same. So, essentially, ang mangyayari na lang dyan, ang magbibigay na lang siguro ng difference dyan is yung personal touch, yung personal, the personal touch in the implementation of all these policies. So, nakita ko lang naman, ang difference na naman siguro is that I am somebody who was the first recruits, the first officers recruited under the RA 6975. Kami yung mga earliest na mga recruits ng Philippine National Police. Philippine National Police. Because during the time is PCINP. Kami yung mga earliest recruits ng Philippine National Police. So, I would like to take this, I would like to believe that it is an advantage on my part because right at the get-go ng aking career, Philippine National Police na. Ang trabaho ay police, at ang mission ay police, at ang implementation ay police. So, kung meron mang mga vestiges ng other precedent organizations, as time went by, nagkaroon ako ng chance na ma-estudyuhan, mapag-aralan, ma-experience, at eventually now, at the time that the policy level, policy-making level, ay matweak ang mga tamang policy so that ang magagawa kong mga policies, rules and regulations, at mga bagay-bagay na programs na gusto kong ipagawa sa ating mga kapulisan, I will be responsive sa current operational environment dahil ito ay base naman sa aking mga natutunan sa past 35 years na ako ay police.
Pero sir, I get what you're saying na you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but there are many ways of using the wheel and that's where leadership comes in. And that's where, the vision of course will be the same, the mission will be the same, pero yung mga particular na detalye doon nagkakatalo. For example, ang inyo pong yung mga presinto, isara. That might be radical for some people. But could you run us through that? What is the end goal there and what is the argument there?
Well, hindi rin bago actually yan. 2005 to 2010, I was in Quezon City Police District. Nagkaroon ako ng 4 na district directors yan. Nagsimula ako kay General Nick Raduan, na ngayon nasa Senate Sergeant at Arms ng Commission on Appointments. Si General Gatdula, who is now a very successful businessman. Si General San Diego, na ngayon ay nagsiservisyo pa rin dyan sa Quezon City. At iba pang mga naging boss ko dyan.
Pero nakasayan kasi ng mga tao na, dali mo sa presinto yan.
Hanggang ngayon naman, dali mo sa presinto yan. Kasi, ang presintong pinag-uusapan doon, ay presintong kung saan may investigasyon. Itong mga pinapasara ko, ito yung mga presintong hindi pagdadalhan ng mga tao for investigation. Ito ay mga presinto na tinatambayan ng pulis, naghihintay ng tao magrereklamo sa kanila, at sila ay magre-responde, at hindi nila ibabalik sa presintong yon, ibabalik nila sa headquarters kung nasaan merong investigation division.
Parang ito yung throwback ng beat system ng mga police. You pound the beat.
Yes, pound the beat. But how can you pound the beat? If you have that presinto or police box na babantayan mo, parang, di ba, counterintuitive.
You're pounding your cellphone.
Yeah, you're pounding your cellphone, exactly. Exactly. So, counterintuitive yun. So, rather than them staying in those police boxes, I would rather have them stay on the streets or ride a patrol car, ride a motorcycle, or kung wala man, edi maglakad sila doon sa mga areas na kung saan sila visible dahil ang mga lugar na kanilang pupuntahan ay hindi naman malayo doon sa isinasarang PCP. So, ang PCP na yun, lalagyan namin ng aming mantra at pag nakita ng mga tao na yun, they dial 911 and in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, makakabalik sila sa PCP na yun. Kung nandun ang kasanayan ng tao, napuntahan sila para hanapin sila at humingi ng tulong.
Kaya nung unang panahon, at least sa mga maliliit na bayan, yung mga pulis, kilala ng mga tao.
Yeah. Yes. Yun talaga ang gusto nating ibalik. Dahil, paano ko makilala ng mga tao kung nandun ka sa loob ng iyong opisina?
Tsaka it's intimidating. Papasok ka sa opisina.
Yes. At ang totoo yun, na para humingi ka ng tulong, pupunta ka doon sa lugar na yun, hanapin mo ang pulis. Counterintuitive nga.
Anong feedback ng mga pulis? Kasi, siyempre, you're getting them out in the streets.
Yes.
That's a good thing, but may ano rin yan, I suppose may konti resistance yan.
May reward naman ako sa kanila. You go out on the street only for 8 hours. And then,
shorter time.
ginawa kong, ang body system ngayon, 3. Sa 3 sila, 8 hours, like ang first shift is 6 to 2, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 3 ang naka-assign dyan na tao sa isang beat. Pero sa 3 na yun, 2 ang naka-duty, 1 ang naka-off. So, ibig sabihin, they only work for 36 hours in a week. Oh, medyo mababa pa yon sa 40 hours per week na gaya mo na nagtatrabaho ng 8 to 5, 5 days a week, 8 times 5, 40. Now, ano naman ang bawi ko ron? Ang bawi ko ron is that they go early, 30 minutes before the start of their shift, dapat nandun sila. And after they end their shift, they have to finish first the reports, the patrol report, kung gaano sila kabilis bago sila makauwi. So, it will take another 2 hours kung 3 times a week sila o 4 times a week sila nag-duty sa isang linggo, plus times the 30 minutes, may 2 hours. So, that will be 38 hours per week. At kung sila ay nag-perform ng tama sa kanilang beat, ano ba ang produkto ng beat patrol? E di makahuli ka ng kriminal. Pag nakahuli sila ng kriminal, warrantless arrest yan, pirma sila ng affidavit of arrest, i-book nila ang tao sa kanilang istasyon, fingerprint, mugshot, medical, and then they go to the fiscal at kumbinsin ng fiscal, kulong natin to. Walang yang to nahuli ko to So ito ang kasalanan niyan, nakasulat yan. At pag nakasulat yan, pag nakumbinsi ang fiscal, the fiscal will make the information, transmit it to the court will now say, sige, kulong mo yan doon sa BJMP. And may commitment order na. And ang commitment order na yan, kukunin ng police, dadalhin balik sa istasyon, ikaw, kinukommit ka na doon sa city jail, halika na. Turn over natin sa BGMP, bago tatanggapin ng BGMP, kailangan medical uli. At, you see,
Yes, sir.
what I mean is, napakahaba ng proseso na at the end of the day, yung 36 hours ng police na naging 38 hours ay sobra pa rin at marami pa rin talaga ang magiging trabaho ng police. So, pagkatapos pa niyan, at the end of the day, nagpiyansa ang tao, pupunta sa CHR, nagre-reklamo, eto na ngayon, ang pulis na nang huli, makakatanggap ngayon ng sipa. O eto na ngayon, gagawa ka pa ng counter affidavit mo, i-justify mo pa ang kaso mo, ang paghuli mo, dahil pag hindi ka nag-justify naman, yun na ang huling aresto mo kasi dismissed from the service ka. So, yung trabaho, yung oras ngayon na ibinigay sa ating mga pulis, shorter hours, but quality time.
Pero sir, I understand. That sounds really good. Pero do you have enough police to begin with? What, 220,000 police force?
220,000.
Ang police to population ratio mo, sabi ni General Marbil last year, 1 to 2,000.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's correct. Kasi
well,
ang laki. 1 versus 2,000. I think the theoretical wish list is 1 is to 500. So we're 4 times the theoretical wish list.
Actually, pag tinignan mo na yung 120 million tayo, plus 220 ang police, parang nandun na nasa 1 is to 500, 1 is to 600 na yan Pero yun nga lang, maraming trabaho ang police na hindi lang naman sa patrolling na pupunta.
May admin.
May mga police tayo sa admin. And marami rin tayong may police tayo sa airport. May pulis tayo sa maritime.
May pulis tayo sa security.
May pulis tayo sa ilalim ng tulay. so napakarami ng pulis natin. Napakarami ng trabaho natin na at the end of the day, kailangan nating i-consider sa pag-compute.
So what do you want to do? You want to pull in all these, I don't know what you call them, kasi, ang daming pinaportion of sa PNP na kung ano-ano minsan nga pati escort ng kung sino-sino Of course, kasama naman talaga sa security dapat yun, pero there was a time na parang sino yung mga yan, ba't may police escort? are you tightening things down? Kung ano lamang ang pwedeng gawin ng mga police?
Well, this is my second week, and before I was here as the chief PNP, I have long exposure at nakita ko na lahat ng yan. Now it's time sabi ko nga, for me to craft those policies na sa tingin ko ay makakatulong sa atin. So among those things na tinitingnan natin is the administrative efficiency, including the proper deployment, proper utilization of resources, and also the employment of resources in accordance to their capabilities.
Internal security, that's been a question on and off for the past 2 decades. So actually 3 decades na eh. At one point, binitawan ng PNP at over sa AFP. Police na lang kami at bahala ng AFP dyan. Tapos binalik na naman, pabalik-balik eh. What are we looking at as far as internal security is concerned?
Well, internal security kasi sinasabi mong insurgency, transfer sa PNP, transfer sa AFP, mga ganon. It's just one small aspect of the anti-insurgency campaign. Ang anti-insurgency campaign is a whole government approach. Hindi lang naman yung armadong pakikibaka ang tinitingnan natin. Maraming mga portions din yan, maraming mga fronts yan, maraming facets ang insurgency na hindi lang naman baril ang kailangan mo. There are people that are saying na may social injustice, merong poverty, may ganitong soft state, may ganitong mga concern. So, it needs a whole government approach to actually comprehensively address the insurgency. Now, for the armed component naman, I think the PNP is more than capable of neutralizing these armed components because, I believe we're trained, we have the equipment, and we're raring to go. We want that anti-insurgency campaign transferred to us para once and for all ay ma-harmonize din namin ang aming anti-criminal.
But would you want it to be completely transferred to you and to leave external security to the AFP?
Yeah, actually yun naman ang pinaka end state niyan. That the AFP goes to external security, territorial protection, and sa PNP is left with the internal matters. Yan ang ideal. Now, I will just wait for the final guidance ng ating mga policymakers kasi syempre sila ang nakakaalam, sila ang nakakita ng kung ano ang buong operational environment at kung ang desisyon ay ganun nga ang pagkahati. We're more than ready to take up the challenge and actually perform our duties in accordance to their orders.
Well, sir, you're making history by being the first PNP chief na galing PNPA, the first fully civilian PNP chief. So there are a lot of things there sa fact yun eh. Among them, of course, is you visited the CHR pa nga eh. So I suppose that gives an indication of where you want to go, what kind of leadership you want to have for the PNP, and what kind of thinking or mindset you want for the PNP. But that also comes at a time when all over the world yung mga police forces na militarize. You see it in the US. Sa US, more and more nagiging mas military yung mga police eh. How do you think this is going to be received by Filipinos? Yung very, very civilian ng PNP versus the past na puro PMAers yung nakaupo. I'm sure you're also familiar with the idea na some PMAers don't necessarily look too kindly upon PNPA graduates. May ganun may ganun discrimination minsan eh. PMAer kami, PNPA kayo. I don't know if you agree with that. But I'd like to mind your thoughts about that eh. Did you ever feel that?
Well, hindi ko pinapansin. Okay? Hindi ko pinapansin. It's not really something that I lose sleep on. No? Even before, not now. Ang sa akin dito ay lahat tayo Pilipino. Iisang sinumpang tungkulin. Pagtaas mo ng kamay mo, iisang binabasa natin at pinipirmahan na oath of office. At iisang organisasyon na ating pinagsiservisyoan, iisang audience, iisang Filipino community, Filipino people na ating siniservisyoan. So, ang sa akin dito is, ang pressure lang sa akin dito na nangyari dahil ako ay PNPA, a lot of PNP graduates now are looking at me and that's a pressure. That's pressure, added pressure on my part na do good because Your colleagues from the PNP are looking at it. Pero, you know,
Example number one.
at the end of the day, iisang organisasyon ang ating ginagalawan, iisang itsura ng tsapa eh. Wala namang differentiation diyan kung saan ka nanggaling na komisyon eh. At saka hindi naman PMA at PNP nandito sa PNP. Nandiyan pa ang APOLE. Nandiyan yung mga technical services na mga lateral entrance at saka yung mga line units na mga line officers na rose from the rank, they rose from the patrolman up to the officer position na i-consider. At hindi ibig sabihin na hindi sila PNP, hindi sila PMA, ay second-class citizen sila. Hindi. We are all looking, I will be looking at all of them equally. And then the only thing that will matter, especially in position and promotion, will be the things that they've done. Merit-based tayo. Hindi tayo kung saan man nanggaling na komisyon.
So I think I'm almost out of time, but let me shift gears then. Kayo po ay anak ng isang dating PC. Can you tell us about that, the childhood and how you were formed by your father and your mother na guro, pinanganak sa Hulo, lumaki sa Marbel, mga lugar na not necessarily very peaceful. Actually very challenging areas. And how that shaped you and how you think.
Well, my father is a PC soldier, PC enlisted man. My mother is a teacher. So you can rest assured that I was brought up in a very loving family. Ang father ko is a very responsible tatay. Ang mother is a very responsible nanay. Stricto. Kaya kami may encyclopedia. Basa kami ng basa. Wala naman kasing TV at the time. Wala kaming TV. May TV noon. Pero memoryado namin ng mga encyclopedia sa bahay. May young readers shelf. Nabasa namin yung mga, mga librong nasa tingin ko ay shaped me as a person. And then I was educated in a very good school at ang impression actually na the place I grew up is challenging. Hindi. Actually, sa totoo lang, 1980 pa lang, meron na kaming mall doon na may escalator. 80s pa lang, elementary pa ako.
Sa Marbel?
Yeah, in Marbel. May mall kami doon, may escalator may. So, that was in 80s, elementary ako. So, I graduated in 1984. So, can you imagine that? The place, malaki ang place namin. And ang main highway namin is a 4-lane road. So, ganun ang from General Santos, we're just 54 kilometers away. General Santos City na yun noon pa. Coronadal is a very progressive place. And I was educated in a Notre Dame school.
Notre Dame, yeah.
And then I graduated sa elementary, and then I graduated in the Coronadal National Comprehensive High School sa high school ko. Incidentally, the place where the current commandant of the Coast Guard also hails from. So, isang school kami, he's just ahead of me by 2 years. And also, the COO Meralco is just 3 years ahead of me in high school. So, you can imagine the kind of school that we came from. Talagang ang quality ng mga estudyante na lumabas. We're proud to say na, I think, ang place namin is very, very peaceful, very, very conducive para sa development ng mga tao na at the end of the day can really say na confident that we can go to the world and we can go outside there in the world and make a difference.
But your father also died under unfortunate circumstances. I think in the line of duty.
Yeah.
In the line of duty. How did that shape you as well?
Part of the job, for so long naman, kahit anong bata pa kami, palaging na-inculcate sa amin na, palaging nasasabi sa amin na, ayusin yung pag-aaral nyo, ay dahil hindi kayo nakakasiguro kung hanggang kailan namin kayo masamahan, na ngayon din naman sinasabi ko sa mga anak ko, na ngayon ay, which is sa atin naman siguro lahat, na ang mga bata, dapat palagi kayong ready, dahil hindi kayo nakakasiguro, nobody lives forever, okay? Una-una lang yan. And everybody goes through that. So, it's just a matter of preparing for it and really accepting it and making sure that when the time comes, you're ready. And I think sa amin naman, on that, when it came as a shock. Pero it's something that we accepted and went on with our lives, adjusted, and because we are ready.
My last question, do you think your father ever imagined in his wildest dreams you would be PNP chief?
Well, he was the 1979 PCEP of the year. So there was a time when he was being cross-examined in the witness stand during the time that he is testifying. He was able to tell the defense lawyer, "Attorney, dahan-dahan ka ha. In 1979, I am number 1 out of the 129,000 PC soldiers." So I think he will be very proud, and bata pa nga ako, sinasabi niya nga, hindi lang PNP chief eh. Kung ano-ano pa ang mga...
Hindi naman siguro Santo Papa, no?
I think narinig mo rin yan. Everybody's, you know, but I'm very sure that while he may not have really expected for me to reach this position, he knows that he prepared me well, and I'm ready to take on whatever challenge that will come my way.
Okay. General Nicolas Torre, the third, sir, maraming salamat.
Thank you, sir.
And congratulations and good luck. Malaki trabaho ninyo.